all of that incredible story, a love for people and living life and building something of a powerhouse right here through this model of business. I've known them for quite some time now, and they truly are like a brother and sister to me. So please help me welcome to our stage here on our Viago family, none other than the absolute best strategist, Mr. Sean Byham. Take it away, my friend.
Shar, thanks for all the kind words. We appreciate you as a friend and business partner, and we've had lots of fun and look forward to having lots more, many, many years to come. So appreciate everybody being on here. I don't know if you guys were if you were delayed or not, but I was having problems getting into the Zoom. I got into the Zoom meeting and it was me, myself, and I about 3 minutes before 9, and I was like, I know something's wrong here. So I was scrambling to figure this figure this out. So appreciate your guys' patience, and we will get this thing rocket and rolling. My name is Sean Bive. I'm in Canton, Ohio. We got a heat wave today. We got up to about 45 degrees, so life is good here in the Midwest. I think almost all the snow is melted off the ground, so we are excited about that. And I've been now in this industry for 19 years, and it has been a journey. It has been a wild, wild ride. And yeah, I mean, never thought some of these things would been able to happen because of being really a part of this community and the friends we've made and access to mentors and just people that were doing better than us. When I got started in the industry, I was working basically two jobs. I delivered pizzas at night, so you can imagine my enthusiasm about that prestigious career. So I was pretty ticked off. You know, I had went to school and I had gotten a degree, and yeah, I thought, I was doing kind of what I thought I was supposed to be doing. I got pretty good grades, um and when I graduated college in '08, I couldn't find a job in my field, and that was super frustrating. And then I ended up just going a different direction because I just really couldn't afford to wait. And I got in a really bad car accident my last semester of college. So it was kind of a perfect storm of crap. I couldn't, I really physically couldn't work for about 10 months. I had just wicked back spasms. I just found a lady now, 19 years later, that has finally started to help me. I never even talked about it, but I would feel like I was getting stabbed in my back every single day, my mid back, like trying to stand up straight. And I just found a lady to, yeah, that's been helping. So it has been a wild ride with that. So I was just in a lot of debt and just trying to, figure life out, make some stuff happen. And I ended up getting introduced to this community about 12 years ago in regards to like travel and a lot of the people now that a lot of you guys get a chance to work with and meet and all that kind of stuff. And life got different pretty quickly. I really didn't have a lot of time to invest into doing this. I was already working a lot. But my mentor was like, man, for things to change, we gotta rock the boat somehow, some way, and make something shake. And I just started kind of fitting it in here and there. And first 2 days, I got 6 people started, so that was fun because I waived my fee and got in the profit. And first month, I ended up having about 70-ish people get started. I think I referred about 17 of them. So I made about 3 grand, and that helped me a lot because I didn't even have like the extra money to sign up. I had to pay bills late to get started, so I was not in a great situation. And within about 14 months of plugging into the system and being a part of the community and just plugging into stuff like this and the things that we got in person in terms of trainings, I was able to go full time. February marks 11 years. So I've just been doing this from home for 11 years. And that opened up a lot of doors for a lot of fun and trips. I didn't grow up traveling. Here in Ohio, Midwest kind of area, there is an amusement park called Cedar Point. It's a pretty good amusement park, but after going there for about 20, 25 years, it gets a little old. That was all I used to do for vacations. I grew up with a single mom, and that was kind of all we did. And I'd only been on two planes, and I'm leaving tomorrow for Phoenix, and that will be my 103rd trip in 12 and a half years. And just sharing that stuff, not to try to impress and or brag or whatever, but I'm ADD, I'm dyslexic. My last employer was Papa John's. I am very confident that most of you on here have better work careers, better job histories. You have better, professional experience than probably me. So I believe anybody can learn how to do this, and you got the team and the support, to here to help every step of the way. And I wanted to just kind of like being in the field and kind of working with people and hearing different stories and stuff. Introduce you guys to a couple people that got some pretty cool stories. I'm going to share my screen and just go over kind of some housekeeping-ish kind of stuff, but I'm going to kind of interview a few folks along this journey. So I'm going to share my screen and show you how, or just kind of going into my presentation mode, show you how this all works. You guys already know how this works. So just some detailed stuff. This call is Team Synergy, Elite Synergy System. So on this website, Elite Synergy System, if you're super analytical, if you like details, if you just want to kind of be able to plug into stuff on a regular basis, there is lots and lots and lots of stuff on here in terms of just training videos and presentations and documents and lots of neat things that you could kind of dive into. Watch one less Netflix episode, a day or something, and just hop into this and kind of fiddle around with it. Because this business can be pretty life changing. And if you tinker and mess around, you can just kind of learn some stuff day by day, and you just get more and more confident. There is now a new a video that you can go and kind of check out and keep learning presentation wise if you're using the video for presentations. Like I said, there is tons of different information on how to do this and how to do that. I don't know because I was having issues, but Shar has a YouTube page that is about as informative as possible for how to use the membership. So if you haven't already gotten it, maybe Shar can drop it in the comments. Maybe she already did, and if she did, I apologize. But she has a lot of really good in-depth, detailed, stuff on there on how to kind of use the travel. And these are kind of some, bite-sized videos to help, just kind of use the membership as well. We've got basically like a podcast system. It's called the Inner Circle. I think, don't quote me. Trying to see if it says here. Last I heard, it's free the first month. If it isn't, I'm sorry. But it's only $20, and in my opinion, it's very, very, very worth it. You get access to hundreds of hours of content, trainings that happen at the big events, trainings that happen every single week. There is just lots of stuff in there. When we first got into the industry, we were using CDs and burning CDs, and I'm buying 100 stacks of like CDs and burning them for my team and stuff. This is a lot more effective. But it's a podcast system where you can just kind of continuously be engaged with what we have going on and hearing from the owner, Isaac, or some of the top income earners. I loved it. I grew up playing sports. I played sports in high school and at a small college, and I was not the greatest athlete. I was the guy that would kind of like outstudy people. So this was like really cool to me because I saw it as a way that even though I maybe wasn't the most talented or the most charismatic, or I'm super introverted, so this is very out of my comfort zone. So I looked at this kind of a tool like this as a way to get an edge and just get better and kind of cut my learning curve quite a bit by being able to, while I'm driving around, listening to something like this versus sports talk radio or Lady Gaga or, whatever. So very, very helpful. There is a system of lots of different Zooms that happen every single day. Eric has a group that does one 2 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m. every single day. It's the bottom left corner. That's the link that is used every single day for that. It's a presentation. And then there is another Muzaffar and Jesse and Sherry. They do one you can see in kind of the middle, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. This happens every Tuesday at 9. And then what I was mentioning with Shar on the bottom right, she does one the second and fourth of every Saturday, training wise on like the travel, how to use the membership, awesome deals, all that kind of stuff. But all this stuff is on the Elite Synergy System website, so you don't have to memorize and try to go back and find this stuff. Some people might drop it in the chat and all that. Around the corner, we have a huge event in Dubai. I'm not sure of how many seats are available. I know that one is coming in hot. That is going to be an awesome, awesome event for all the international folks in Europe and Africa. One, it's Dubai, and you have two of the top people flying in. One is named Eric Grzybowski. I've worked with him now for about 12 years, and his story is pretty awesome. He comes from real estate. He did pretty well, owned a company with his brother, but it was more of the aspect of getting his time back, the residual income element of it, because he made quite a bit of money, but he was working a lot, stressed out, had a bunch of employees, hated it, type of a thing. And then Jesse, who is the one who kind of put together this website and system and trainings. He is the top income earner in Viago. He comes from a different walk of life. He was a dance instructor out in LA and kind of chasing that dream, the whole kind of starving artist, liked what he did, but didn't make much. And they've both made tens of millions of dollars doing this, different backgrounds, different walks of life, different levels of education. And that's going to be in Dubai. So we've got some other stuff coming up, but I wanted to introduce you guys to some folks and just have you hear from some different people from different walks of life and different backgrounds. So the first individual that I'm going to go to is in Oklahoma City, and I am going to figure out how to unmute my man Kevin. Shar, if you see
I'm
Kevin.
unmuted.
Oh, boom. We're in business.
Look at you.
Look at this.
How are you, Sean?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you, Kevin?
Doing awesome.
Thanks for hopping on here. I know you're super busy and kicking butt and taking names. So I wanted to, Kevin, just kind of have you share a little bit, because I would reason why I wanted to grab you, and I know I reached out and I know you're busy and I didn't really give you a whole lot of heads up, is I think your background is pretty neat, because being in this industry, they call something they call something a list. They call it a chicken list, and it means like you're so scared to kind of call so and so because you think they're too successful, they're too this, they're too that, and there's just I've gotten rid of the chicken list quite a while ago because I've seen too many people like you join. So I don't prejudge anybody, because you just never know. So I just wanted you to kind of share like your work career or background or whatever a little bit, if you don't mind, and
Sure.
kind of why you how did you end up finding Viago, and like who invited you, and what kind of made you say yes from like the beginning, not necessarily building, but like just at least participating.
Absolutely. Now, I left Oklahoma and went in the Marine Corps for 8 years, traveled the world. I've been to Abu Dhabi and Dubai when there was nothing but sand there, and we spent a lot of time in that area. 3 combat zones, and I was a drill instructor at Parris Island, South Carolina, and decided to get out so I could come home and be with family. Finished up my degrees and went to work and worked for a number of companies, and eventually started my own company. And it was a residual company. It was actually a lawyer marketing company, and I marketed law firms all across the country. And we'd charge people $300 a month or 25,000 a month, whatever it was. And it was my first time to experience residual, where you got to wake up one day and I'd check my phone that first 6 months, that first year, and every day see, hey, last night while we were sleeping, we made $150 or we made $1,500 or we made $10,000, whatever it was. And I worked 80 hours, 100 hours a week just trying to make that company go. And in year 5, I got it to the point that we were doing well enough that I could step out. And so we hired a CEO, and I went to work with Soldier's Wish, volunteering my time, granting wishes all across the country with the History Channel and with NASCAR and Sturgis and several places where we got to grant wishes, and did that until the government got involved in my business and said that if I don't provide health insurance for all my employees, they were going to charge me a fee of $2,000 each. And so I got aggravated, and I'd never been in politics at all. But I just knew that it wasn't right what they were doing to us. And so I decided to run for office and ran for the State House of Representatives. And I was in Oklahoma House of Representatives for 8 years until November, this last November. And my sister's a successful businesswoman. She does all the health benefits for Hobby Lobby and Cherokee Nation, Chickasaw Nation, and does real well. She was in Forbes magazine here a couple months ago. And about 18 months ago, she called me, and I could tell there was something weird in her voice. And she said, I want you to come to a meeting." And I said, wait a minute. What kind of a meeting? And I could tell it was one of those meetings, right? And I wasn't going to one of those meetings. I just wasn't going to. I'd had lots of people try and pitch me things over the years, and I hated most of them because you were pushing a product or it was a niche market, and like makeup, only 50% of your market's going to be able to use that, right? Arbonne, as nice as that might be, only certain people are going to do that. These stem cell products, only certain people. And so anyway, I told her, no, I'm not going. I'm not coming to your meeting. And it wasn't too long after that, she introduced me to a guy by the name of Jeff Balf. And Jeff kept sending me these texts saying, congratulations on the growth of your business, right? And I'm like, what is this? What's going on? Well, we ended up going to Mexico, and it was $500 going down. I think we were at Cancun, but everything was included: the travel from the airport, all the meals, everything, snorkeling trip. And my wife and I loved it, but it was a trick because there was 300 people from that business that were doing it, right? And Jeff kept telling me, hey, you could have a growth in your business had you joined back then, you know. So anyway, I told him, we'll get in, we'll come back, I'll look at this, and I'm going to give you 1 day. 1 day. And I invited 8 of my buddies, and we literally had meetings set up from 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, sitting at a restaurant. And we sat there and visited with seven out of the 8 got in. So out of that, $700 right there, day one. And that's a lot of money, right? But even more than that, I told those 7, I said, okay, we'll give it 2 days. Next Thursday, we're going to go ahead and invite people. I want you to help me invite people, and we'll see how many meetings we can get next Thursday. And Jeff came back over, and we met with 9 people that day, 5 of which were mine, and all 9 got in. And then the following week, we had 14, and all 14 got in. And that's when I sat back and I thought, okay, this is one of those businesses, right? And in my 3rd day of actual working, we had put in enough people, and the team, from the time we came in and before we actually did that, I had enough people on the other side that I was actually earning $500 a month, right? And when we got in and Jeff kept sending those texts, congratulations on the growth of your business, I didn't realize they were building a team below me. And guys, I'll tell you this, when I had the lawyer marketing company, it was great. We made a lot of money, but I was responsible for every headache, every employee problem, everything that happened. And I realized in this company, when we're making money and moving into retirement age, right? We're getting to that. With this, I've got an income that's going to continue to grow as we build it. Right now, we're getting ready to be Emerald. We're getting close to Emerald, right? So That's 100. We've been doing this actively a little over 5 months. And it's a blast. And I realized, guess what? If there's a problem, I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to deal with it. Corporate takes care of that. And now we can actually do what we enjoy doing, which is travel, be around people. I mean, I see so many people, Char and Roscoe and you and Jenna and everybody on here. It's fantastic. And I just love it. And so I went from a guy that hated MLMs, and now people say, "Is that one of those MLMs?" I'll say it's just like insurance, right? It's just like insurance. You got an agent, somebody's selling it, they make money, you make money. It's just like insurance. And they don't realize I didn't even answer the question, right? But
Right.
so we love it. And I'm so proud to be a part of this. I think it's a fantastic organization, and the people are what makes it fantastic, honestly.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on all your success. I know you kind of got tricked to go on a trip, but after that, and after you gave it 1 day and then you gave it two, have you been to any of the trainings? I know I'm assuming you've been to, with your career, a lot of conferences of just like leadership conferences and CEO conferences, and military like leadership training. Have you chose to go to any of those events? And just to kind of put a bow on your segment, like if you have gone, I know I've seen you at a couple, but have you been to all of them since you kind of started? And what would you say like your experience has been with like the trainings coming up? Like we have one coming up March 8th, and then we got a bigger one in Atlanta in May.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm dedicated at this point that I'm going to everything. And I'll tell you why, because even though we had early success with getting a lot of people in, I mean, get Jeff Balf to show up at your place and you're going to do well, right? But there was a season that I went through that I was trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this, right? Do my own presentation. How do I tell people about it? How do I invite people? What do I have to do? And on the second or third training that I went to, Dallas is when it really hit for me. When somebody got up and they said, all you have to do is invite, present, invite, present. And that cleared it for me. And I was like you, I have a list of people I didn't want to call, right? They don't want to do that MLM thing. And I that just broke it down for me to where I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to, I don't even care anymore about who I present to. I don't care what their answer is. I don't care if it's a yes or a no. I just know that if I invite, present every day, as often as I can, as much as I can, we're going to get enough yeses. And we will at some point in time get to that $85,000 a month that's on the board. It's going to happen. I've only personally put in a little over 30 people right now, and we've got a couple hundred below us, right? I mean, it's growing. And I started asking all the top leaders, and I said, Jeff Balf, you had 1 million people in the company. You and Troy put in 1 million people. How many did you personally sponsor? You would think thousands. Mm-mm. It was like 300 personally sponsored, right? And if you told me all I've got to do is go personally sponsor 300 and I'll get 1 million people in my downline, I'm going to go do it. And so it duplicates and it starts rolling. And so for me, absolutely, the training's necessary because that's where you pick up that one nugget. You meet that one person that helps you out, and it just takes you to the next level. And I watch Viago Inner Circle every day. I'm watching somebody's video.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Kevin, for sharing that. I mean, that sounds so simple, right? Invite and present. But yeah, as you start to grow a team, it does feel more complicated than it really than it really is.
Yeah.
But and you could have heard that from somebody else. You could have heard that from Jen or Pat or Jeff, but being in that environment, like totally dialed in, focused, it just helps for it to actually like stick when you
Yes.
fly somewhere, drive somewhere, and invest a couple days to learn and grow.
Yes. And that three-way text, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but we've started doing that to where we teach the team that as soon as people come in, they'll send out 20 texts the first night. and invite friends. And when you got 5 or 6 people doing that with you, the people that you put in, all of a sudden you've got 20 meetings in a week, right? So it just starts duplicating. And every week now we're just busy putting people in. So yeah, and all that came from training. And guess
Yeah.
next training we'll get another nugget that'll take us to another level.
Yeah, we just started when Jen trained on that in Dallas. Really started to kind of learn more and more about that and trying to implement, that. Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of biased because I kind of got started in the industry that way. I had my upline called me and kind of said the same thing, like, "Hey, I got a referral. Are you keeping your?" This is like pre-text, So, but it was kind of the same premise. So when I saw Jen and Pat's kind of thing, I was like, "Man, yeah, I like that, And it's very, I know it's taken off for you guys, and they're crushing it up in, up north and in Wyoming, Montana, and all that kind of stuff as well, using that. So it is a really cool tool to fill the calendar. I agree.
And I read this in the Bible actually. As a man thinks, so he is, right? If you think it's hard, it's going to be hard. If you
Mhm.
think it's easy, it's going to be easy. And if you set your mind every day just to keep to the disciplines that you know, it really makes it easy because all you got to do is those simple basic things. And so if you think an MLM is a bad thing, it's going to be a bad thing. If you think an MLM is a great thing because you're making millions of dollars, it's going to be a great thing, right? It's all a mindset.
For sure. Well, we appreciate you, Kevin. Thanks so much for hopping on. I know you're
Absolutely.
busy, and I really just you are just such, like, you're fun to be around. You always got a positive attitude, and whenever we met you out at the out in Vegas, I was just like, man, you guys are just a breath of fresh air, just
Yeah.
people we want to be around and go have fun with and go on trips with. And we're glad you are a part of the community and look forward to seeing you walk stage in Atlanta for at least one promotion. But you got some time. Maybe
I
you'll
know.
end up going. Maybe you'll end up walking two of them.
We're going to try it. So we sure love you guys. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for having me on, man.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. We
See
are
ya.
going to have one more person join us here, Michelle, down in somewhere she's had some warm weather here for quite a while. And one of the things that I liked a lot about this industry, the thing that really kind of a big reason why I'm still here 19 years is because of kind of going from like Kevin to Michelle. I went to an event and I saw very different types of people in terms of like backgrounds, education, walks of life, having success. And it just really kind of took down a lot of my barriers, thinking like only these kind of people can be successful, or only this person with, this walk of life and different things. And that's one of the things that's so inspiring to me about Michelle, is just coming from a different profession, having success doing that, but then just crushing it here. So, Michelle, I really appreciate you hopping on. I'm looking forward to having you out here in Akron, Canton, Ohio, and figured it'd be a cool opportunity to for folks to hear selfishly about your story here, and also I knew it would help a lot of other people that are around the country, around the world, building Viago. So for people that haven't heard your story, I know personally we've had a good bit of people get started here in the last couple of weeks, and I know a lot of other people have too, who haven't had a chance to hear you speak yet. Would you share kind of your story and background and all that?
Absolutely. Can you hear me? I'm actually changing over to my computer so I don't have to hold my phone. All right. So, hi everybody. My name is Michelle. How are you guys doing? I'll share my story with you guys. I wasn't invited to see this information. I walked into a presentation and they were talking about travel and making money. When I got to the door, the guy asked me who I was invited by. I'm from New York. I'm a nosy New Yorker. And I was like, I need to think quick on my feet if I'm going to get in this room with these people. And when I did one of these and they were like, oh, come right in. And, I seen the information and I was like, sign me up. Like, I didn't know. I was like, listen, if all I got to do is get people to, in front of somebody that was going to do the talking, that was just a win-win situation for me. And, I got to travel. I got to travel to Jamaica twice a year. So I looked at it as I can go to Jamaica, spend $500 at a resort, not tell my family I'm Jamaica. I'm in Jamaica, do the resort living for the 5 days, then go visit them. I was like, I'm winning. Where do I sign? Put me in the system. And then the business component, I didn't quite understand how it worked. They were like, become the professional invite. I was like, what does that mean? They said, if you get good at getting people in front of people that's going to do the talking, it's a win-win situation. So like I said, I looked at it as they worked for me. I knew that I could get my friends, family members in front of them because we wanted to do this traveling anyway, right? Who doesn't want to do traveling and make money? But we were going to do it retail, pay the public price. And if there was a way to do it wholesale, that just made sense to me, right? So it changed the game for me. It changed my life. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this community. I tell people all the time, I've always wanted to be first in something. And now we have the opportunity to be first. And nobody invited me, but I'm here.
That is such a wild, that is like literally, you could not get more opposite of Kevin's experience. Kevin's sister is calling and calling and calling, like, please check out what I have going on. You sneak into a meeting that you're not invited to just because you're nosy and want to know why they're in there and why you're not. So it's just, there's a saying in what we do of like, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I really believe like timing in people's lives, like whatever people believe in faith and stuff, like, but just, God's timing of like, you being there, it's obviously not a coincidence or, it didn't happen by accident, you being at that restaurant, at that time. What, for you, Michelle, like when you started to build, just, sharing kind of your beginning journey, like, did you crush it? Were you super teachable? Did you plug in and kind of just rock and roll? Or, what kind of, how did it start for you? And I do remember you got to a training fairly quickly, but I don't think you really wanted to go, if I remember correctly as well. Which is
No, I plugged into the system and I always say, I sat on it for 2 months. I didn't know what I had. I just sat on it. I paid my money. And one of my, the guy that had got me into the system as my sponsor, he was like, you need to go to a training. And I was like, a training? I don't feel like I want no training. We don't need to go to train. I don't need to train to learn how to take a trip, right? I got my product. You don't need to train me on that. And they were like, no, you need to come to training. You're 180 days advance when you come to training. I was like, 180 days advance in what? And it was just this whole big thing. And they were like, we got to pay for a flight. We got to pay for a ticket. We got to get we got to be there the weekend. I was like, everything in my mind was like, all right, I don't want to go to this event. I got court because I'm a little speed demon in New York. I had court on Monday. I was like, there's no way I can get to this event. I have to be in court. I don't know what y'all want me to do, And I remember the guy that had sponsored me, he had paid for my ticket. And at that very moment, I'm not telling people to do this. I'm just saying he wanted me to go so bad that he was like, I got your ticket. It was like, I got your ticket. Like, you're going to pay me back though. But, because I know you was going. But I got your ticket. So that's a little nugget, y'all. You said you was going, so I got your ticket. You're going to pay me back though, right? And I felt obligated. Like I felt so obligated to be there because I'm like, you paid for my ticket. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't want you to do that in the first place. But you paid for my ticket, and now I feel like I gotta go, right? And and I was saying to myself too, deep down, and he didn't know this at the time. I was saying, they said you're 180 days in advance in your business when you go to training, and I said that I want to win. I said I want all these glitz and glam. I don't want to have to punch a clock anymore. I want these residuals that they talking about that I had learned, right? And I was like, I say I want these things. But do I really, like, I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door, right? And I'm like, well, how am I going to know? So I said to myself, well, listen, I'm a big blue, and if you don't know what that color is, that just the life of the party. You know what I'm saying? You say party to me, and I'm there. And I said to myself, all right, well, if if anything comes out of this, they talking about that they have some parties and stuff like that. I'm gonna go have fun, right? So I'm definitely just gonna be there to have fun. And you guys, it changed the game for me. I walked into that place, and I always say these words. I felt like I was in a place that I knew nothing about. I felt like it was a world that I knew nothing about, because I went to school from kindergarten to pre-K to first to 12th grade. I did my bachelor's, then I did my master's, and ain't nobody in none of those classes tell me how I can make money in my sleep. Ain't nobody in none of those classes taught me about residual income. Because I promise you, Sean, I would have been in residual income class 101, residual 102, residual 103. I would have majored, I would have minored, all of that. But nobody taught me. So I really was like, how do I go to this schooling? I pay all this money. Ain't nobody told me that I can make money in my sleep and be traveling all over the place and have fun. So yeah, so the training changed everything for me, and I'm just so glad that the person that got me in the system was persistent. Persistent. He was just persistent. Even when he knew that I was rolling my eyes and kicking and fighting, like I didn't want to go to the training, but thank God I did.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember my first training, we used to have little kind of co-op things, and I went back for like a second thing, and I left my wallet at home. I was like, I know they're going to try to get me to buy something else or make me sign up for, so I'm going to leave it at home. Once I went, I was like, I'll sign up for training when I get back home, because I didn't bring my wallet. And once I went, yeah, that's a really good way to put it. It was like, this is a different way to live. Like this is a whole nother, it feels kind of like the Matrix thing. Like I didn't even know this was a possibility, type of a thing. With your, I know you mentioned bachelor's, master's, what kind of work were you doing? And obviously you're blue, and it's not the all the details, but like were you pretty busy like when you started to try to build the business and get it in motion? Did you have a bunch of stuff going on, commitments and priorities and social stuff, and that you were trying to work around building the business?
Yes, absolutely. So my bachelor's and master's is in social work, and I worked in a prison as a social worker, and I also worked in group homes. So busy wasn't even the question. I had a lot of casework. Just imagine being in a jail with people who are just trying to get home. That's all they want to do is they want to get home, whether they're innocent, whether they're guilty, just dealing with a whole bunch of things. So my schedule was super busy. But one thing I can say, Sean, is, and that I'm so proud that, I had the discipline. I had the discipline to be consistent. And what I mean by consistent, I said, if I take 3 to 5 hours, like if I get out at a certain time, right? I don't work on weekends. So if I devote a couple of more hours on the weekends and at least 2 days during the week, anywhere from 5 to 6 hours for the week, if I'm consistent, and I do this every week, I'm going to win. There's no way I can't win, right? And I said, I just got to be consistent, because I don't care who's putting people in front of people, or, you know what I'm saying? You can bring 10 people to see the information today, and then you could bring another 10 people, in 2 weeks, right? If I stay consistent with my 5 hours throughout the week, every week, no matter what you do, I'm gonna beat you over what you're doing, because I'm consistent. And I just made it, I made it my business that I wasn't gonna sleep. I wasn't gonna lay my head down unless I put effort into my business, because I put effort into everybody else's business and I necessarily don't want to be there, and they ain't paying me no residual income, because if I don't go to work, they're not going to pay me. So I'm like, why would I not put effort into something that I can make a residual income I'd like to do, and it could one day be able to be full time where I don't have to work. And I just wanted to test. I'm a test whatever you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I want to make examples. I want to test. I want to see if it worked. And the only way you can see if something works is if you work it. I'm not waiting for nobody else to work nothing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely, the consistency of it is it's powerful in anything, especially with what we have going on and building because everybody's busy and everybody's got a lot going on. To, kind of bring it in, for a landing because I know you're busy and everybody's got different stuff going on. We have the RTEs, they're called regional training events for people who haven't heard that lingo or know what that means. We've got one coming up March 8th. So 10, 11 days from now. Some people that are on here, there's 85 people. There's a good chance. Some of them don't even know the event is happening. Some people are, already in, but maybe haven't committed. And then there's people on here that are committed and going. What would you say, Michelle, would be like advice you would give to people, in those kind of positions of like, they don't even know about it. They know about it, but they haven't decided they're going. And then for the ones who are going, to the best case scenario of what they could do to help build their business and make 2025 different than 2024 for the ones that want to do that.
Absolutely. So, some people, when they hear training, they think of, oh, this is like one of those things and kumbaya sessions and stuff like that. And I get it, right? Trainings are, our trainings are different. Our trainings is based on community. We like to have a good time. They're like-minded people that want to learn from each other, build legacies together, right? And with training, I can't do none of y'all jobs. Most of y'all on here, I don't know what y'all do, but I couldn't do it unless you trained me to do it. I promise you, if you train me to do it, I'll do it better than you. So with training and building this business, especially if you try to make money with it, like if you just here and you want to take trips, even there's training to learn how to use your website. Because some of y'all in here want to take trips and ain't even been on your website and you asking how you do this. So that need training too. But if you really want to do the business and you really want to build the business component, right? If I was, I use this example. If I was a surgeon, right, and I specialized in head injuries, right, I was a neurosurgeon, and I had the money. I had all the money in the world. I went to a good high school or whatever, and my mommy and daddy figured a way to get me all the credentials that I have that nice fancy title. And not only do I have the fancy title, my facility is super, like, just beautiful, right? It's nice, it's comfy. When you walk in, you get a drink, whatever. It's just nice, right? And I didn't do any of the work. I didn't do any of the training. I didn't do any of the hours. I didn't do any of the internships, right? And let's use who's on here? Anastasia. Let's say Anastasia is also a surgeon who specializes in head injuries, and she went to school. She did the interns. She did the work. She did the paperwork. She did the classes. She did all the hours. Her facility is not pretty, but she has everything that she needs to be well equipped to do her job. Now, if y'all need us to complain y'all head, how many of y'all gonna feel comfortable coming to Dr. Michelle and over Dr. Anastasia? All of y'all gonna feel more comfortable when y'all find out that my credentials was rigged, right? Y'all gonna feel more comfortable going to Anastasia because it just makes sense. She did the hours. So with this business, a lot of people, they treat the business like a hobby. And it's so funny to me because I ain't never have a hobby that can make me $85K a month. Like, even my job was a job, and it was not a hobby. It was something I had to go to. I had to wake up. I had to be on time. If I wasn't, I got penalized, or I would be in the rotation to be fired. People treat this like a hobby, and it can pay you so much more on a residual basis. So with anything, you want to get good at getting good at it. And our training events are where you learn the tools from different people all over the world. Some people may not be able to take me. I may be too much for them, right? But you may be able to take someone like Sean or a Muzaffar or a Jesse or somebody else that is sharing the information. And the beautiful thing about these training events is you get to get a piece of everybody. You get to get to a piece of the pie, and you get to take bits and pieces from different people and implement it in your business. So then it allows you to be equipped. It doesn't give you it. There's no reason that you shouldn't win with this. There's no excuse that you shouldn't win with this because these events are right in your backyard. Most of you guys don't have to go nowhere, right? Some of you guys may have to drive a couple of hours, but it's $5,000 monthly coming in your bank account worth that? It's $10,000 in your bank account worth that? 20, 30, 85 worth taking a 3-hour drive or a 4-hour drive? Well, you got to find that out in yourself. Like, you got to figure that out for yourself. Like, what's your perspective, And these events, I feel like, they're a couple of dollars. They should be hundreds of dollars because somebody is investing in your business. Somebody is investing in helping you. So if you haven't made a decision to get to the RTE, the person that got you on here, whoever got you started with us, tell them, I need my RTE ticket because Michelle said, do not miss the RTE. It sets you up to win. And if you're not going, if you ain't going, then don't be upset when you don't make money. Like, you gotta just go on a trip because you ain't going to the RTE. And we've already told you the way that you're gonna win is to make sure that you at the events. So, Sean, I hope that helps, and I hope that helps somebody. I said it before, big decisions are made at big events and you're 180 days advance. So if you're just coming in and you're brand new, March 8th, you're going to already be 180 days advance to anybody else. And I would take that over being last or taking another 6 months to learn something that I could have learned on March 8th.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Michelle, for hopping on. I know you're busy, and we're super excited to have you out here in Ohio to have some fun. And yeah, we are very different personalities, so it is a very fun mixture to have your passion and energy to bring that to people. Because like you said, that's what some people need. They need that because you can relate to, that group of people. And I'm a little bit just more of the details and chilled and laid back. So it is fun to be able to kind of see all the different walks of life and so many people having success and that they're not all the same type of person. That was really exciting to me. So appreciate you hopping on. Look forward to having you out here and having some fun with you and making some stuff happen.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me and can't wait to see you next week, March 8th, and everybody else in the building. Let's get it.
Awesome, guys. So I'm going to share just some of the details so you can see the different RTEs for the different ones that are happening. Like she said, there are a bunch of them all over the country and all over the world, all over the world that are happening, kind of the big events. But here is just some of the details. I'm sure it is on Team Synergy in terms of our Team Elite Synergy system. I'm sure has all these slides as well. But here is kind of a list of the cities. So we are in the Akron-Canton area. We've got Atlanta, Bloomington, Minnesota, Chicago, Concord, Charlotte area, the DMV, New York, New Jersey, Wichita, OKC, Phoenix, San Antonio, and Tampa. And we're fortunate to be friends with all the people that are speaking at these events. And we know that they'll deliver and bring the energy and enthusiasm and give your people that make it to those events everything they got to learn and grow and have fun. So these are just kind of some of the flyers. Once again, they are on the website, so you can go and just kind of show people, so they can kind of see. There's also a spot for little short videos for a lot of the people that just kind of, sharing a little bit of their stories and different things. But like I said, we've had an opportunity to become friends with all these people and just really privileged to get to know them. And we know that they'll deliver and rock and roll and make some stuff happen in all these different cities and states. There's also some Friday night events going on. We're going to have a murder mystery party Friday night and a presentation prior to. So if you're coming out this way, we can get you the address and all that kind of stuff for what you got to wear and all those kind of things, as well. And these are just, like I said, all the kind of flyers and you can get these from the website. And when she talked about, costs, I know for me, I spent tens of thousands of dollars on college. We were in a really odd situation where it was like, We didn't have, my mom didn't have money to, pay for it, but also we weren't in a spot to really like get assistance. So I took out a bunch of loans. But even when they talked about, going to these events, I'm like, dang, I gotta buy a ticket to this stuff. But it was like I just spent thousands of dollars on books that I barely read, So it's just kind of having that entrepreneurial mindset. And that was a transition for me because I just had never been an entrepreneur before. But just understanding, hey, it's a tax write-off, it's a way to learn and grow. And I mean, the tickets right now are $50. Like, I just now that I'm in this world and I know what conferences and different things cost, it is just such it is just so minuscule for what value you can get out of it to learn in this business in particular, but in my opinion, learn skills and tools that you can take and apply to be successful, in other things in life as well. And there's definitely, if it wasn't for this system, there for sure I would not I still would not be a part of this business and had any level of long-term success without getting to these events to keep working on myself, but also working to bring as many people, as we can. And just to share one last kind of detail of different promotions that are going on for February. So we've got this compensation bonus. You can kind of see it here where for the short term, there is a promotion where signing up 3 people in the same or there's a triple pay promotion that is going on right now. And then cycle wise, every time you have 2 people join on the left and 2 people join on the right, the bonus is doubled for the rest of February. And maybe we'll get lucky in some of these things. We'll get extended into March. And just wanted to have, I had asked her to get on, but then I didn't see, so it's more of my fault. But a product story that I've heard her share a couple times, and I just think it's really cool to hear how much money can be saved on. I don't even think it was really travel stuff. So Cheryl, I know you're on here, but I just didn't. It's a big list of people, and I didn't see, and I couldn't even get on for like 10 minutes. So I apologize. But will you share real quick? I've heard you say your member deals story, and it's one part of the membership, and it was pretty mind blowing. So will you just share that for us really quick? I appreciate you being patient and still hopping on and helping
No
out.
problem. No problem. Hey, you're doing a great job. No problem. Um, yeah, just a little bit of my background. When I started, Jen Obert texted me multiple times. Multiple times I said no. Multiple times I said no. She said, and I kept, and she kept saying, "Oh, my team is growing." I kept seeing her on vacations like every other month or every other week. And so I thought, well, she's obviously doing something right, and I'm obviously doing something wrong. So maybe I better just get smart and follow her. And so I said yes. In my first month, I went 5-5. The following month, I went 10-10. And during that time, I was fighting stage 4 breast cancer, and it had grown into 4 of my organs. So I knew I needed to save money and make money. But when Jen said, "Oh, you got to do this training, you got to do that training," I was like, "And you got to be coachable." I'm like, "I'm coachable, but I don't training." And then here you gotta do, you gotta do present Zooms. I'm like, me? No way. I am not gonna do this, Jen. I am not. I was hell bent. I'm not gonna do it. I told her, matter of fact, Jen, no way. I am not gonna do this. She said, okay. So she's like, she did a lot of the Zooms for me and Angie. And all of a sudden she's like, oh, well, you're on your own. I'm like, what? So I actually started doing my own presentations. And so those of you that are thinking you can't do it, you can do it. I did it. And I said I wasn't going to do it. And so getting back to saving money, I knew I needed to do something. I was going through treatment, chemo and radiation, and I was sick, and the medical bills were mounting. And so I just, I said, okay. So I started kind of doing my own research. And um, so um, I just kind of went in there to see what, member deals was all about. And all of a sudden, I do, one of the reasons why I got into this business was to save money on concerts, right? Just concerts. And that's what I did. Last year, we went to 32 concerts, 4 Vikings games, and 7 Wild games, and 12 Twins games. And so that's why I got in. And so last year, I saved a total of 8,900 just last year. And if it's not in member deals or in our business, we don't do it. Like, for restaurants.com, you can buy $50 gift cards for $5.60. So I started doing that. And actually, it's cheaper to do that than it is to eat at home. So, so I did that. And then just recently, I was in a hit and run accident, and they did eventually find the guy, and he was intoxicated. So they totaled up my car. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to just search. I'm going to do some searching to see, what I can find, if I can, if there's such a thing. Sure enough, there was. I went into the business aspect of it, and I saved $3,750 on my new car. And yeah, and without that savings, I can tell you I would not have gotten the car that I wanted to get. And then on top of it all, just 2 days ago, we got our insurance bill for the next 6 months. And I knew, and it's due next month. And I was gonna, check out the savings, and I have. And we're business owners, and I'm also a CFO of another company. And so we have we have a lot of insurance. So I was like, nobody's going to be able to touch us. Well, we're going to save total with all 4 of our cars and our life insurance and our supplemental insurance. We're going to save $4,200 a year. So, and that's even with my brand new car. So it's huge, and like I said, if it's not in the business, we don't do it. Wherever I'm at, I'm in the city. I'm looking to see, where, what restaurants, and what restaurants and stores are being added all the time. I just had training with my team on Sunday, and lo and behold, I'm up north of Minnesota. Lo and behold, the two restaurants are in there. They're in the restaurant part of things. So, if you're looking to save money, this is the place to be.
Awesome.
Thanks for letting me share.
You're welcome, Cheryl. And that wasn't $89. That was $8,900.
Yeah.
For your events.
Yes.
It's crazy. I just had a friend go to the Cavs game, and for 2 tickets, he saved $1,800.
Yeah.
Ange posted it on the chats, and it's the
Yeah.
member deals. I mean, you can save a year or 2 of membership just with a couple events or concerts.
Right.
So,
It's huge. It's a huge savings. And if I can, just add real quick, get back to the person and your sponsor, because once you get into the system, it's very easy. And it just takes a little bit of time to get in there and learn the system, but you know what? It's worth it. And yeah, Shar, I'm going to AC/DC too. So, and yeah, we already have 13 concerts booked, and it's only February. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sharing, Cheryl. I greatly appreciate it. And your time, and congrats on kicking butt in the business and in health and in life and all the things.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm gonna just we'll make this short and sweet, but I had asked, and she had just seen my message. I wanted to be able to also have just someone kind of new, just share really quick, because she's been using the text message thing, the three-way text message. If you're doing something else, if you don't want to use that, that's not really the point of it. But I wanted her to share. You'll have to share all of your thoughts, Cecily, on what you thought the training was going to be like in Dallas, but in general, kind of what you thought of Dallas, how you liked it, and kind of what's happened since coming out of that event. If you are able to, let's see.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. Let's see. I'll
Okay.
remove my thing, and then boom. So
I'm driving, so
okay,
I'm not
no worries.
stationary. But
Okay, yeah, just really quick.
basically, I joined. My cousin Lisa was like on my neck, and I'm already like an agent with IntelliTravel, and I barely ever use it. But I travel, but I don't even use it. So she is just like, oh, you gotta hear about this company, this vacation club. And I'm like, I mean, I'm already in it. I figured it was the same thing as what I was doing. And she's like, no, if you just please listen. She wanted me to come somewhere. I'm like, I never made it. And actually, Jamie Weir too, he tried to get me to come. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I ain't got time for multi-level marketing. I've done enough and I don't want to. I've never been really successful at it. I don't really want to try to be persuading people to do it anyway. So finally, she got me on a Zoom. I didn't listen to half the time. I got ADD, so trying to pay attention that doesn't work for me. So then somehow Sean got a hold of me. I can't remember how that worked, but he went through the presentation with me one-on-one, and so then once I listened, I'm like, oh, okay, traveling, okay, and this is not what I'm already doing. Okay, I'm in. For these prices, I'm in. I already do this, and I don't get paid. So I jumped in. I always, do the ambassador when I do anything like this, because if, I share it and someone wants to get in, I want to have the opportunity, to get paid for it. So I jumped in, but I never intended to be trying to build a business or, I got my career, I have an agency that takes a lot of my time. And so I'm like, I don't want that part. I'm just going to travel. Sean is like, I joined in November, and my manager, she joined with me about the same time. And so he started with her. That's what happened. You started with Shawana. And then she kept saying, well, Sean wants us to go to Dallas. And, and I'm like, okay, I guess, maybe I can learn a little more about the business or whatever, and learn about, the product and how to use the website. So I'm like, fine, we can go. We went to Dallas, and then, Sean and them are introducing us to everybody. And I'm like, okay, everybody's so nice. Like, everybody was inviting and everybody was so welcoming. And if you need anything, and we're getting introduced to people, and then we get in a conference and these are the people on the stage talking. So, typically in these type of situations, you're not being able to get up close and personal to the people that are on the stages, doing the presentations and all of that. And I'm like, wow. So, and then just meeting people as you're networking and talking, meeting people that look just like me, that are, or that come from even similar circumstances as I do, they do this for a living, travel and share. That's what they do. Okay. For real, I can do that. So the conference is what lit a fire up under me. And so when I came home, I'm like, I can travel and share. And then Sean's like, this three-way chat thing, do this. He sent me some examples. And so that's all I was doing. So anyway, I got the fire up under me in Dallas. And so now I'm just like, hey, residual income, we all want it, we need it. And if I can build another stream of income to supplement what I'm already doing, I'm going to travel, and people are always asking me and wanting to know how I'm doing it anyway, and I can get paid to do it. I always prayed about, I want to do something where I can get paid to travel. Somebody needs to pay me to travel because I'm gonna do it anyway. So this was it. This was the vehicle. So that's it. That's my story.
And since Dallas, you got your 6, waived your fee, and knocking on the door of 5.5.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Well, Bob, I know I put you on the spot. I know you're multitasking. Appreciate it. Thanks for everybody for hopping on. I know we went a little late. I don't know if it feels like it to you, but it felt like it went pretty fast to me. So I appreciate everybody's time, and look forward to seeing all of you guys that are local here at the RTE. And then for people all over in Atlanta, May 2nd weekend. And we are going on, it is on the website right now. So if you are looking to do a trip in the summer, we are doing the Mexico trip that is June. I don't know if the date has been updated yet, but it's June 19th to the 23rd. It's the only Mexico reward trip on the website right now. So it is on there right now live to book. The more the merrier. If you're looking for a trip for the summer, we would love to have you. Jenna and I will be there, and Eric is going, and Lindsay as well. So I think we'll end up having a pretty good turnout for that one. I think we'll have about 100-ish people and go to Bali. That doesn't sound too shabby in November. So thanks for hopping on here, everybody. We appreciate your time. Take care. Have a great night, and let's go.